Okay, so today we're going to dive into something really kind of unsettling. A real wilderness mystery. It's fascinated a lot of people. Armchair detectives, and even official agencies seem a bit, stumped.
Yeah.
We're talking about the missing 411 theory.
Yeah, missing 411.
And that name, the 411, that's like police code for information needed, right? It comes from David Paulides, who used to be a police officer.
Exactly. And he's done all this research, put together books, documentaries.
Right, focusing on these really strange disappearances, mostly in North American national parks, big wilderness areas.
That's the core of it. It's not just that people go missing, because sadly, that happens.
Sure.
Paulides' whole point is how they go missing. He argues there are these really unusual common threads linking specific cases.
Unusual circumstances, yeah. He claims they're not just random tragedies.
Not random at all, in his view. He sees patterns, connections that suggest something else is going on, something unexplained.
Okay, so let's get into that. When he talks about these striking characteristics, what kind of things does he actually point to? What makes these cases different from, say, someone just getting lost?
Well, he's very specific. He catalogs these anomalies.
Anomalies, right.
Things like really experienced hikers or hunters vanishing from marked trails, just gone. Or people being found miles away, often in places that seem impossible to reach.
Impossible how? Like geographically?
Yeah, terrain-wise. Or sometimes they're found without shoes or even clothes in freezing weather, which makes no sense behaviorally.
Right, that's bizarre.
Then there's the timing thing. Bodies sometimes turning up in areas that were searched like crazy multiple times by large teams.
So areas they should have found them.
Exactly. Scoured clean, supposedly. And suddenly, there they are. He also notes weird weather, sometimes coinciding with the disappearance or victims found across barriers like rivers or cliffs they couldn't logically cross.
Wow. Okay, I can see why people find that compelling.
It's these details, yeah.
Especially when the official explanation is often just, got lost, which feels inadequate sometimes for these kinds of facts.
Right. It feels like it doesn't cover everything Paulides highlights.
But naturally, a theory like this, suggesting these weird, persistent patterns, it's going to draw criticism, right?
Oh, absolutely. It's controversial.
What are the main counter-arguments when people push back on these connections he's making?
Well, a big one is selection bias.
Okay, explain that.
Critics say Paulides might be focusing only on the cases that fit his strange criteria, the missing clothes, the weird locations, and ignoring the, probably much larger number of disappearances that don't have those features.
So he's cherry-picking the weird ones.
That's the argument, that if you only look at the outliers, you can create a pattern that isn't really there across the board.
Right, like finding faces in the clouds.
Sort of. And confirmation bias, too, maybe interpreting ambiguous details in a way that confirms the existing belief in something strange.
Makes sense.
Plus, skeptics emphasize just how difficult search and rescue is in huge wilderness areas. It's vast, it's unforgiving.
Yeah, finding anyone can be incredibly tough.
So they argue these unusual circumstances, while tragic, might often have more mundane, if still complex, explanations. Environmental factors, disorientation, causing strange behavior, hypothermia, maybe rare animal encounters, things that don't require a single unknown force linking them.
Okay. So pulling this together then, missing 411 is essentially Paulides' theory that a significant number of disappearances, especially in these wild places in North America, aren't isolated incidents.
Correct.
He argues they're connected by these really specific, unusual, often baffling circumstances.
And that leads us to the really controversial part. Paulides often hints, or sometimes more strongly suggests, that the explanation might involve something supernatural or, paranormal, something outside our current scientific understanding.
Okay, that's a big leap for many.
It absolutely is, and it's really important to stress that while he documents the strange details meticulously, that interpretation of the paranormal link is highly debated. It's his reading of the data.
Right. Not necessarily the only possible reading.
Exactly. And it really makes you think, doesn't it? When we have data that's incomplete or just plain weird, how do we respond? Do we stick with conventional explanations, even if they feel a bit thin, or do we start looking at more extraordinary possibility? It kind of forces us to confront what we don't know about the wilderness, and maybe about ourselves, how we make sense of things when the pieces don't quite fit.
Yeah. Leaves you wondering what else might be out there or what other explanations we just haven't considered yet.
Precisely. The mystery isn't just the disappearances themselves, but also how we choose to interpret them.